Hi, I'm Jon Mitchell, and this is City Jobs. Hi, Olivia. How are you?
Welcome to the library.
Thanks for doing the show today. So we're here today with Olivia Mello, the director of the New Bedford Library System, and we're here at the main branch downtown on William Street to talk about all the great stuff that's going on in the library system. And it's not your grandmother's library. It's a big place, a complex system, but it's bigger and better than ever. And in terms of the offerings that the city has, and in terms of the way that we supplement other city services right here in the library. So tell us what we're going to see today.
Well, we're going to show you what happens in the back room of the library and the work that the staff has to do in order to make the business day go forward for the public. We do have things that happen each morning or each afternoon that allows us to provide the patrons with the services that they've requested while we're closed at night, which include the delivery. I think that's an important piece to show people how the books go from library to library. Now in New Bedford alone, we have 5 buildings. We have 4 branches and main library, so it's 5 service outlets that we provide service to on a daily basis. There's 41 employees, 8 professional librarians, and 17 full-time and 14 part-time people that make the organization function. And each location has its own manager and their own support staff, and but they follow the lead of what happens at the main library.
So we have a system of 5 libraries. We have the main library, we have Casa de Ciudad and Holland Green in the south end, we have Lawler in the west end, and Wilkes up in the north end. Correct. So it's a big municipal system.
It is.
And it takes a lot of work to keep it all going.
Yes, for a city of our size and our population, 5 branches, it's not very unique. And the fact that we also have 2 very unique branches. We have the Casa de Ciudad Library, which was established through a grant in 1971 to help Portuguese immigrant families. So it was a Portuguese collection housed at a storefront, and then moved in 1975 to the Sister Avalon building at 58 Crapo Street.
Yep.
So very, very heavily used by the Portuguese population in the city. And then there's the Holland Green branch in the south end as well with the Spanish collection.
Yeah.
And so they're all very well used. And then of course we have the Bookmobile, which is something that's still up and running on a daily basis that people may not be aware of, because if they work during the day, they don't see the Bookmobile travel to the schools.
All right, so we're gonna go take a look at a few different things. So let's take a walk. All right, thanks. So tell me what's going on here. I've been here. I kind of have a sense of what's happening, but you best can explain it to the public.
Yes, of course. We need a little assistance at the desk today, and I'm glad that you're here because Dale's a little short-handed today, and he needs some help with assisting patrons with the reference calls that he gets on the telephone or the photocopy or the computers. We do get, at this time in the afternoon, a lot of people needing assistance on the computers as they come from the RMV to get assistance in printing some of their documents. So I'm anticipating a crowd, and having your set of hands here would be a great help to us today.
I am here to help.
Okay, and
I'm ready, Dale. I'm ready.
Dale will be your supervisor for the next few hours.
And
he's gonna. It takes that much time to do the work that we need done. It's not something that's going to be done in 5 minutes.
All right, you better order some pizza then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we service over 3,000 people a month on the internet stations. They use our internet computers, and which comes out to over almost 1,900 hours on average per month.
Wow.
Use of computers here in the library, at the reference section of the library.
So why do people come in to use the computers? What are some of the big reasons?
One of the big trends right now is the RMV is, of course, a short way away from here, and they come in to get their forms from the insurance companies, and we're able to assist them. They have to get the insurance company to send the form, and then they print it out. Some of them they can do Wi-Fi printing. If they have the form and they don't they're not able to get online right away, they can use their phones and
Yeah.
they can send the print to directly to our printer from their smartphone or their laptop, whatever device they are using.
And what are some of the other, so people can use this space for printing services?
Yes.
What about for reference? I mean, what about searches?
We get a variety of different questions. People ask anything about world leaders. We have questions about addresses and information about lawyers in New Bedford.
Yeah.
We have people needing directions to go somewhere. And we'll help them print them out using the World MapQuest or some other online database.
You know, so that brings up an interesting question for both of you, and that is, in an age when we can look for answers just by Googling a question, right? Now, why do we need libraries at all? Tell me why, Olivia. Tell me why. Tell me why we need you.
Because we need to make contact with people. We need to get the right answer. Google isn't the answer to everything. Google is an open source. People can be putting information up online. They can be creating their own facts and it looks legit. So you don't know that those are good sources to use. They may be a starting point for you in your research, but whatever research you do online, it's going to point you back to the local public library. And we as a library today are on the World Wide Web ourselves. People can access us 24/7 at their home locations or their tablets, where they can be going to our site and getting our resources and getting the information that we have. So the library today is much more accessible to people, so we get a lot more foot traffic because now we've opened our doors virtually, so we have a population using us from home that will be coming in to supplement what they've already started at home. For instance, the wireless printing, that's exactly what it is. A lot of people today may have the internet at home and they may have a printer, but you know what? Ink is very expensive. A lot of people can't afford to keep replacing their ink cartridges. They let it run out. So what do? Now we have they come to the library for printing, and because we have such an amount of people using it and we have not enough printers available for some afternoons or some mornings when we have a backlog of people coming in, we now offer the wireless printing, which is an easy step of 1, 2, 3. And the wireless printing is not just from home or from the parking lot or from across the street. It's something that can be done throughout the library. Somebody using their laptop could be sitting at one of our tables and be working on their document that they've done the research for at the library and send it over.
So it seems to me one benefit of the library is that the services that you guys offer, you can steer people in the right direction. And when you Google something, you can sit there for hours and just sort of fish around, but if you have trained people who know how to do research, point people in the right direction, and can suggest things that might not be evident from Googling questions, then you can really start to get the answers you're looking for if you're out doing research or just want to get up to speed on something. Libraries are historically repositories of knowledge, and just historically just walk in and it's all there. But nowadays, you guys play a role of facilitator that librarians might not have played in the past, which I think is kind of interesting.
The library will never go away. We are just evolving into what the public is asking us to provide them with.
I think that's an important point. All right, Olivia, tell us where we are right now.
Okay, we're on the second floor of the main library. We're in the reference area where the government documents are and where the microfilm lives. And this is an area that gets used quite a bit. I'm not an expert on it, so I'm going to turn it over to our reference librarian, Amy Ferguson, who can show you how these machines work.
Who just so happens to be standing there.
Yes, Amy.
Perfect. Amy, welcome.
Hello, Mayor Mitchell.
Yeah, thanks so much. So tell us a little bit about the microfiche room, or is it the microfilm room? And
Well,
what's the difference?
It's a little of both. These machines will use microfilm,
Yeah.
and they will also use microfiche.
I got it. So that's the difference.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one is slightly different than the other.
Okay. So
Over.
So if somebody wanted to do some research here, what do you guys offer?
We offer back issues of the Standard Times, of the Mercury, of several French newspapers that New Bedford used to have. We have back issues of the New York Times, indexes of birth records, death records, even municipal fire and water from the 1800s. We have a large collection of local history.
I remember coming in here, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago to do some research on family members from old copies of the Standard Times, deaths and other things. And I learned a lot about my family, probably in about a half hour or an hour's worth of just sitting around here flipping through stuff. And so I think that's such a great resource, and we should encourage people to come down here and do that. But so if someone comes down and they want to do some research, for instance, on their own family, what's a quick way if they're getting into the information that they might also enjoy?
Our patrons can start with an index that we have printed over there, and they can look for their family member by last name. And following the index, you can then be led directly to the reel and even the page in the newspaper that the family records are held, so there's not a lot of time spent needlessly scrolling.
Yeah, it's a fantastic resource, and it's not that hard to operate.
Well, do you remember how to operate it? Would you like to try it?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's stick you over to one of the
It's like
machines.
getting back on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
The top portion will move your image around. The second one will bring it into focus and zoom in. And the third one down here makes the letters even clearer. And you can manipulate the machine by moving this around, because you're really just picking up whatever is going on underneath that lens. And right here you'll see we pulled an article from 1997 of the first Moby Dick reading
Wow.
in New Bedford. This was the start of what has become a nationwide event. People everywhere talk about, that's right, New Bedford, Moby Dick. How long have they been reading? Well, several days, and also many years.
Yeah, so that's going back 20 years, which is pretty cool. And there's also, I get to see what the sales look like at the various stores around the city 20 years
Yes.
ago. Things were a little cheaper. No, that's cool, and that's easy to find. It's not rocket science. People can, especially with your help, you can easily find the information we're looking for and stumble upon information that we might not have anticipated.
Definitely, and I would not call it an outdated thing at all. We have young students coming here learning for the first time. We have people looking for their grandparents, and we also have older people looking for memories. We reach all populations with these simple machines.
And I think that's a great point, that what this offers is something you can't readily get on the internet. It's not accessible, but it's such a rich information set that people would find interesting, that more folks just need to know it's here.
Exactly. People are so accustomed to having resources a click away, they fail to remember that sometimes you have to do a little digging, and that's why libraries will always be current and amazing.
I could sit here and just read the newspaper from 20 years ago, and I could do it day in and day out. It's that, it's really that interesting. I could waste a lot of time in here, I think.
So we're here in the mailroom where all of the activity goes on for getting the materials out to the other branches and to the other libraries across the system.
Yep.
So I'm going to have you assist Roger with some of the work that he does in delivering to the branches. So I'm going to...
So Roger Seguin captains this entire operation here.
Well, half of the operation.
Half
He
of it.
captains the operation for the New Bedford
The
Libraries.
important half.
Yes, the
Yeah.
important. Yes, he's the one that delivers the material to our 4 other locations on a daily basis, so that everybody is getting the material that they've requested from other libraries. We have a courier system that delivers every morning that brings us material from all of other surrounding communities, anywhere from Seekonk to Wareham. And they deliver it to us, and then we sort through it, and then we put it in our bags and our bins for Roger to take to the other locations, and then we sort what's going to stay here. So last year we moved about 40,000 items from our library to outside libraries, and it doesn't count the New Bedford libraries because we're New Bedford books no matter what. So if you put that into perspective, over 40,000 New Bedford library books left our sorting site to go to other libraries. It's a pretty impressive number of what we have that
we
people
get them
want.
back though, right?
We do get them back, we
right.
do, and
Just
they do lend to us as well, so we do borrow from neighboring communities. It's a reciprocal borrowing system. We'll lend to you if you lend to us. But it's impressive how many books travel overnight from library to library. And locally we have a very active delivery system, but when I think that we have books come to us that come across the ocean on the ferry from Martha's Vineyard, for people who have requested books that maybe only the libraries on the Vineyard have, it's an impressive thing. You can get books from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
We've gotten books from as far away as Scottsdale, Arizona. They'll take a little longer than 48 hours to get here.
Right.
We'll get them.
Right.
So Roger delivers, like I said, on the 24-hour turnaround.
Well, there's an important point here, and that is when you come into the library, if you don't have, if the library doesn't have on hand what you're looking for, they still might be able to get it for you without
Correct.
too much delay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And with us being available online through our mobile site and through our, being on the internet, people are able to request these books at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. They're on the internet and they found the book that they really want. They can go into our website and just request it to be sent here or a library of their choice.
Yeah, it's good to know. So how does it work, Roger, in general?
Well, we have a holes list. Every requisition that we have for an item is on a holes list, and we get that. We go over that twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon, and we select the items from in-house, and the items will either go in the bag or in the bin. And in the morning when I arrive, everything goes out into the van.
Okay, can we have
And
you load the van now and have the mayor help you?
Sure. Oh, sure.
No, I'd be happy to help.
All right.
Let's make
Let's
it
go,
happen.
let's go.
Okay. Right there. Wait. Top of the road. So, Tammy and Dan, tell me a little bit about the Bookmobile. What's its purpose and what does it offer? Either one of you. You guys can flip a coin to start.
I'll let Tammy go because I have a
We just provide services to the schools, the nursing homes, daycare centers. We go to a lot of different communities in the city and provide books where people can't normally get out to a library. It's the library on wheels.
Yeah, you bring the library to them, especially for people who can't get to the library. Yeah. Now and you guys have a set schedule for those visits?
Yes, we have a pretty tight schedule.
So you guys are driving around all the time.
Yeah.
How fast can this thing go?
Well, it's governed.
You haven't tried it.
It's
Don't
governed
answer
for
that.
65.
Don't answer that question.
It's governed for 65.
Yeah, that was a trick question. So, what does the Bookmobile offer? I mean, it offers books, obviously, but tell me, it's not just kids' books, right?
For seniors, we have large print. For the nursing homes, we make up collections, special collections for the schools, the kindergarten classes, and we also make, if people have special requests, like they want things on hold, we can get them from other libraries if we don't have it.
Yeah. And the kids really like coming in here, right?
They love it.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it. I would think that the Bookmobile also gives people who haven't been to the library in a long time a little bit of a taste of the library, so that they're attracted to go into the neighborhood libraries as well. Do you find that?
Yes, all the time. Yeah.
And the other good news is it's like brand new now. The city's put a fair amount of money into it. It has that new car smell now, which we all like, but it looks sharp and it's been so well received in the community. So it's just, I just want to thank you for all of your hard work and making it happen. Lots of kids get excited when they see the Bookmobile, and that's a neat thing to see.
It is, yeah.
Good.
It's a fun job.
Good, good. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. You bet. Book library. Dale, it's the mayor. I'm pitching in today. We're short-staffed. It's Dale from upstairs. He's looking for an extra print cartridge. Russ, can you help me?
Dale, you'd like some receipt cartridges?
He's interrupting filming.
This is all on camera.
64A cartridge. Dale needs a 64A cartridge. Okay, we'll try to get one for you soon. Okay? Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I should run that upstairs. Dale couldn't run downstairs and get that himself. Oh, I got it. All right, so Joseph, so we're here at the front desk, which is the nerve center of the library. This is where you direct traffic. It's air traffic control, right? So we're talking about lending and borrowing from other library systems. So we lend out CDs and books to other places, right?
Yep. We lend out CDs, books, DVDs, magazines. Yeah. If they can check it out here, other than a museum pass, we can lend it over to another library.
Okay. All right. So what do you got? You got an example.
So here we have somebody is waiting for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, no kidding.
So let's see.
So this is actually an album that
Yep.
we're lending out. So it's not just books. It's not just DVDs. It's albums too.
People
So
want any form of information or entertainment.
yeah.
So
all right.
If we've got it, we'll send it.
All right. So we'll try scanning this in. Let's have.
All right, and that one is going to Somerset.
Somebody in Somerset wants to listen to Tom Petty.
I'd imagine everybody wants to listen to Tom Petty, but this person in particular definitely does.
All right. So they're going to great lengths. So we can lend us out to them. They better bring it back. That's all I have to say.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. All right. So and then so that goes in the
Yep,
bin
we take
in the
them
back.
And so you want to hold them there, and we'll just
All right.
come right into the back room.
Sounds good. All right, Olivia.
So this is our special collections room, our history room, and this is where a lot of the family histories live, the local history lives, and where some of our special books live, some of our archival books from our archive room. And I'm going to have you spend a little time with Jody Goodman, new head of special collections, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about this project that we're about to embark on.
I can't wait to hear about it, Jody. Tell me a little bit about it.
So the library has a sizable collection of whaling logbooks, which are of particular interest to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We are one of a number of repositories that are going to be digitizing logbooks to make the content accessible. Historical weather data is really important. They're trying to do climatic modeling to figure out where we've come from and where we will go. And incredible records were kept in these logbooks with longitude, latitude, different kinds of weather conditions that can help them plot on a grid so they can start to map out and use that for their modeling. We normally don't provide access to these logbooks directly because we preserve them. They have been copied before on microfilm, and they are freely accessible to researchers down on the second floor in the reference area, and they are highly used. So I have retrieved a logbook from our archives, and we can take a look at that. And
yeah, I'd love to see it. All right, so we've got a log from a whaling vessel going back to, let's see, it looks like they were out in 1864
Yes.
during the Civil War.
we have the ship Emily Morgan, and the dates for this logbook are 1863 to 1868.
So a 5-year voyage?
Yep, which isn't unusual.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that all of the time was spent in the Arctic. They tended to, they traveled around. So the Arctic was one point on this journey where they were dwelling for a while. So what this project actually invites participants to do, it's called a citizen scientist project of sorts. there is no optical character recognition that could scan these pages and take the data and then sort it. Because these old weather books they're manuscript materials. They were written by hand in cursive. So this project is digitizing logbooks, and each of these pages will then be uploaded to a website, and citizen scientists, meaning the public, can log on and participate, and they can adopt a page. So that will be the only way then. They will be transcribing the historical weather data. They'll be transcribing what they can discern and see. And that
you can see, I mean, just to pick out one entry, I mean, every entry has its location, the latitude and longitude, and then there's a description of the weather conditions at the time. So
exactly.
So this is relevant to scientists who are studying global warming and rising sea levels. That can get a glimpse of what it was like over a longer period of time based on what whaling captains were observing back in the 1800s. You can better discern climate trends.
Sure. No, that is the crux of the project.
But this is one of many things that you guys have here in the genealogical room. To tell us a little bit else about, just in general, what we have here.
A large part of the collection, these are the open stacks, so these are the materials that are also wonderfully old books, old records, with family data, with genealogical data, with town histories. We have wonderful resources. We also have archives, and our archives are actually closed stacks, so we don't necessarily let people go in and retrieve things from those shelves, but we have a lot of manuscript collections. We do have older city records from New Bedford. We have a photograph collection. We have a lot of wonderful resources. We have rare books. We have a Bible collection. We have Quaker records. We have tremendous resources, materials.
And Mayor Jody's only been here since July, so she inherited a room that had been managed for 40 years with a different process, more of an old-fashioned way of handling the services in this room. Pre-computer and digitizing, it was all still managed through the card catalog and note-taking. So Jody has done a whole turnaround of how this space works now, and doing an inventory of sorts of what we have here that isn't even available to the public through our card catalog. So there's a lot of material in this room that has never been entered into our very own database, so that when people came from far and wide, we have people from California, people from Washington. If they came and they were looking for a book, a lot of it was reliant on memory, of the staff's memory of where the book was.
Yeah, it's a tremendous resource. This is really the city's, in some ways, the city's archives in here. In effect, it's sort of really a repository of New Bedford's history, very fascinating history, and it's a tremendous academic resource, but it's also a place where citizens of our city can come and learn a lot more about our very rich past. So it's a huge, huge resource. We're so proud to have it, and appreciate all the great work that you guys are doing here.
Terrific. Thank you.
So as we close up, we're here in front of the Rotunda, and it probably looks like a jacuzzi to people on television, but it's not. It's one of the many really interesting architectural features of this building. Well, tell us, share with us the story behind that.
What I heard was that the Rotunda was going to have a mural painted around it on the inside, and the painter was someone that sailed on the Titanic, so he never made it back to paint the mural, so it's just a white round circle now. But think about the fact that we were going to have somebody who was on the Titanic, and if he had made it back, so that we wouldn't have had a story about the Rotunda. I do like to take people up here, showing them around because of this marble staircase, the marble columns that we have. It's a beautiful place to come visit. It's all free and it's all open. It's a little bit of a museum up here. There is this element of all the 3 floors offering a different level of service to people. And there's the welcoming center at the first floor where we triage where they need to go, or if they just need to come in and pick up a quick item for viewing or listening or reading, to the second floor where they can get assistance with some of their computer needs or their resume needs, or assistance with the computers, or their specific questions or non-specific questions, anywhere from researching for a paper to what's on TV tonight. I don't
Yep.
get TV Guide. Can you tell me what's on TV tonight?
Yeah.
We do get those questions, along with questions of, I need this book that's this big and it's red and it's got white letters on it. That's the job of the reference staff, is to try to take those clues and figure out where they should lead us to. And then, of course, the third floor, where the administration lives and where the
Right.
archives and special collections exist. And some of our artwork is here on display. For people to
Yeah,
find.
it's all great stuff. And so next time you can put me to work. I'm just across the street when you need me to hand some books into the van and drive the bookmobile. Any of that, I'm available
We'd love to have
for a
you.
fee. No, just kidding.
Thank you.
All right, but thanks for having us today, Olivia. All right, thanks.